This is the Contractors Corner podcast series from Solar Power World. Welcome to another edition of Contractors Corner. I'm Solar Power World Editor-in-Chief Kelly Pickerel, and today I'm talking with Dave Anderson. He is EVP and co-founder of Ameresco, a renewable energy solutions company working throughout the United States. So nice to talk with you today, Dave.
Good morning, Kelly. Great to be with you.
All right, so I thought we'd start. What is Ameresco's role in the solar industry? You develop solar projects for your portfolio of customers?
We do. We're a leading independent energy efficiency and renewable energy solutions company. And as part of that, we have a wide range of technical solutions using advanced technologies that are focused on building efficiency, but all aspects of renewable energy as well. And we have a particularly large portfolio of solar projects currently in our pipeline and in operation.
Okay, perfect. You guys are headquartered in Massachusetts, but how far do your solar efforts reach?
Well, we're focused on North American market, primarily the United States and Canada. We have about 240 megawatts of projects in that pipeline that represent over 450 installations. And most recently, over the last 12 to 18 months, we've expanded our solar footprint into the UK and Greece.
Awesome, okay. How did Ameresco get its start? Were building these renewable energy projects, was that always part of your initial plans?
Well, three of us that have been in the industry a while had got together and started the company back in 2000. And over a couple of dinners and a couple of bottles of wine, came up with some key tenets of putting this company together. In 2000, the energy industry, energy services industry in particular, was relatively mature. Most of our competitors had a B on their balance sheet. And as a new company, it was a challenge for us to make sure that we could build scale so that we could be successful going forward. So two key things that were prominent in our business plan were that we would need to secure strategic acquisitions relatively quickly so that we could build scale, experience, and also secure some qualifications that you can't necessarily always get when you want. What I mean by that, as an example, is the federal government, which were one of the biggest players in that arena. They generally come out for qualifications on average every 5 years. So we did a couple of quick acquisitions to give us some qualifications to be able to play in certain markets and be able to build our pipeline from there. Additionally, we want to differentiate ourselves from most of our competitors. And what I mean by that is give ourselves the ability to grow, be financially stable, and reinvest in the growth of the company. One way to do that is to have an appetite to develop, own, and operate your own assets. And so early on, to answer the question, we knew that we were going to be prominent in, not only the solar field, but in the physical asset arena. We have projects that range from heating and cooling, central plants to cogeneration, landfill gas, renewable natural gas, geothermal. We've got our first wind project in Ireland, and certainly solar.
Yeah, you guys have been very busy. How has this year been? Has COVID affected your work or shifted customer plans that once included solar?
Yeah, fortunately, to be honest, we've been incredibly lucky. Most of our projects and most of our workers have been deemed essential. So as a result, in some cases we experienced, certainly in the early days of COVID, March and April, we've had to figure out what the protocols are, PPEs and different standards that we need to maintain. But again, in most of our cases, we've been deemed essential work, so we've been able to continue. So we've been really limited to the effects of the virus as it relates to our business. And in spite of all that, we're finding that the marketplace on the customer side and policymakers are still very interested in promoting efficiency and renewable energy. So yes, it's a little bit of a different environment to operate in, but again, we've been very fortunate to be able to kind of get through this with really very limited impact.
Okay, that's good to hear. I know you work with a lot of school districts. So how do you approach energy plans for multi-school districts? Do you go building by building before determining like what sites could support solar? How do you work those out?
Yep. Again, as you mentioned, the K through 12 market is a very large market for Ameresco, and we approach it primarily from a comprehensive perspective. We want to understand the district as a whole, how it uses or utilizes its energy, and what that energy cost is associated with that consumption, and identify what systems can be retrofitted to provide newer, innovative infrastructure to reduce their load first. Secondly, once the load is reduced, we have a better understanding of what their new requirements are, and then try to couple solar or renewable solutions to that. That's not to say that we don't do standalone solar with some of the districts. We do that, but many school districts do have aging infrastructure. They have deferred maintenance where they're just never really able to address all those needs. So in an ideal situation, we try to take a holistic approach to reduce their consumption first with new, efficient, innovative technology, and then apply distributed generation, solar in many cases, to those solutions.
Okay. As a solar developer, do you have your go-to contractors or do you bid out the installation work every time?
Yep. Again, we're focused on delivering best value. So we do, have working relationships with a lot of subcontractors just because of the volume of business. We do some repeat projects with them, but in every case, we do look at every project on a standalone basis, and we want to ensure that we get the right skill set with the most competitive price to deliver that value.
Mm-hmm. So Ameresco has done many solar installations on capped landfills, and I saw that you're now getting into floating arrays on lakes and other man-made water reservoirs, but you've kind of been a leader in trying new installations. So what gets you comfortable with these new techniques?
Yep. As you know, we've done a significant amount of actually landfill projects. Actually, not only for solar, but we've got a significant portfolio. We've extracted methane gas from a landfill gas type project, and we're going back to many of those that are obviously capped landfills and applying solar solutions to those. We are very proud of the technical depth and breadth that we have in the organization. For a round number, I think 70% of our staff are degreed engineers. So we can get comfortable pretty quickly with evaluating and employing some of these new technologies. We have a project right now that you may have seen. We've been recently awarded under our federal group with Fort Bragg in North Carolina. That's a 1.1 megawatt PV system at Fort Bragg on the Big Muddy Lake, and that's just another example, of innovation that we try to leverage and take advantage of for our customers and for our experience. Additionally, we have one here in Massachusetts, a Mendon community solar project, solar farm. It's about 5 megawatts on 20 acres, and there are sheep that actually do the grass mowing there. So in lieu of the labor to mow the grass there, it also is an avoidance of herbicide application. So we think it's a good environmental solution there as well.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Along those same lines, storage is kind of one of those new up and coming techniques. So what has been Ameresco's experience with energy storage and batteries on projects?
Yep, you're exactly right. This is a technology that's getting a lot of buzz in the market now. There are actually different states, Massachusetts and New York in particular, that if you're contemplating a solar project over a certain capacity and you want to take advantage of the incentives that are available in that state, you have to couple them with battery solutions. But also from a customer perspective, batteries allow for very flexible and reliable power. Typically, obviously you're going to store the energy and you can use it in the off-peak period, for example, when solar is not generating, but there's a lot of other attributes that solar can bring to bear. It can load shed, it can take advantage of different ISO programs in the market for dispatch, but certainly if the grid goes down, it gives customers a sense of reliability until that grid can operate again. So we're seeing a lot of interest in battery, and we're focused on trying to leverage that, and actually not only battery, but microgrid technology, to maximize the economic benefit to those customer facilities and make sure that they have a resilient operation. As an example, two projects to note that we have significant battery applications. One would be the Marine Corps Depot in Parris Island, South Carolina, which includes cogeneration, a couple of large solar arrays, battery storage, and microgrid. You can imagine they're mission critical, so this gives them black start capability and significant amount of resiliency. And we have a significant project up in Ontario, Canada, the Newmarket battery storage project. So, we've been focused on ways to leverage these new innovative technologies, coupling them to maximize the economic and environmental benefits to our customers.
Mm-hmm. What other trends are you seeing in mid-size solar? You mentioned earlier that you do have community solar contracts. Do you expect that market to kind of expand?
We do. We're seeing that live in the market today. And, we think one of the effects of COVID, that's in the news is that, the tax base at municipalities and states have been reduced because the unemployment rates are so high and so forth. So school districts, municipal buildings, public sector in general is struggling, and I think will continue to struggle with securing, appropriated funds year over year in the short term at least, and having financial solutions that allow the implementation of efficiency, renewable energy, and these more complex solutions, not requiring any upfront capital on part of the public sector, and facilitating it on a off-balance sheet, off-credit basis, I think is going to be very attractive to these municipalities. So to answer the point, more directly, community solar is one of those methodologies that will allow for a municipality to take advantage of maybe some of its non-productive land, whether it's a capped landfill, or a pond or a small lake, talking about floating solar voltaics, as a way to not impede or hold back its ability to save some money, generate some tax revenue, and actually also work toward achieving some of its sustainability goals.
Mm-hmm. So what else can we expect from Ameresco in the next few years?
Well, I think certainly we're always customer-centric, but given the local dynamics and the market and the environment, we have a relentless focus on the needs of our customers in this particular time. Again, we know organizations are facing budget shortfalls, and the type of value-oriented solutions that we bring to the table, both technically, financially, and economically, I think will benefit a lot of these public and private institutions. Again, our goal and our motive will be continue to leverage innovative strategies, technologies, financial structures, and promoting these advanced technologies to deliver best-in-class, best-in-value projects for our customers.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for letting me get to know Ameresco today, Dave. Thank you.
We appreciate the opportunity, Kelly. Thank you.
This has been another edition of Contractors Corner. Join us each month as editor Kelly Pickerel chats with solar installers across the country. Thanks for listening to the Solar Power World podcast. Visit us online to hear more great podcasts, view industry videos, and read our great editorial content. solarpowerworldonline.com. See you back here next month.